the dream. Once, in a village that burned, before it burned, lived a young woman who loved a young man. And they waltzed through the streets that smelled of horse shit and bread. The dogs loped behind for a scrap. All night, in separate beds, they dreamed a feast. Fat wheat and cows, hills of clean soil, their hands deep in it, and across the insides of their skulls, the names. In flaming letters, the name of the land. Visiting Auschwitz. What extra scrap of bread? What glance from a slop-drunk SS? What rage raised the rusted shovel, struck it on the starving ground until the whistle ended day? What muscle, corded in the thighs, not buckling to the bed of lice, of bloody flux? What propped her up when her bowels released the spoiled cabbage soup and she couldn't hold her deadweight head? What switched the names so she was not called? What scarf, smuggled from the storage hull a shred so she could wipe herself? What song, muffled in the dark? What glint willed the breath? What saw her and said, live? On a hilltop at the Nasser farm, overlooking the settlement of Neve Daniel. This is for Amal, whose name means hope, who thinks of each tree she's planted like a child, whose family has lived in the same place for 100 years, and when I say place, I mean this exact patch of land where her father was born, and his father, so that the shoots he planted before her birth now sweep over her head. Every March, she plucks the green almonds and chews their sour, fuzzy husks like medicine. I've never stayed anywhere long enough to plant something and watch it settle into its bloom. I'm from a people who move, who crossed sea and desert and city, with stone monuments, with clocks, with palaces, on foot, on skeleton trains, through barracks with iron bunks, aching for a place we could stay. All our prayers, all our songs for that place, where we had taken root once, where we had been the ones to send the others packing. And now Amal laughs with all her teeth. Her feet tickle the soil when she walks. She moves through her land like an animal. She knows it in the dark. She feeds stalks to the newborn colt and collects its droppings like coins to fertilize the field. Amal loves this land. And when I say land, I mean this exact dirt and the fruit of it, and the sheep who graze it, and the children who eat from it, and the dogs who protect it, and the tiny white blossoms it scatters in spring. And when I say love, I mean Amal has never married. All around her land, the settlements sprout like weeds. They suck precious water through taps and pipes, while Amal digs wells to collect the rain. I am writing this poem, though I have never drunk rain collected from a well dug by my own hands. Never pulled a colt through the narrow opening covered in birth fluid and watched its mother lick it clean. Or eaten a meal made entirely of things I got down on my knees the shape of a garden, water that comes when I call it forth with the flick of my wrist and my hand on the tap. Only lately, I find that when I ache, it takes the shape of a well. And when I bleed, I emit a scent something like a sheep in heat, like dirt after rain, like a patch of small, white flowers, too wild